let me give you a quick overview of what we are going to cover today. We are going to continue with the table tool. So we began with the table function in the last session, and we will be taking the table function further in today's session. We will also be understanding how to use the name manager to create a named range. We will also be using the name manager to create a name range. We will understand the difference between saving data in table format and keeping data as a name range. We will then introduce the simple if condition, and we will talk about conditional formatting at length, where we will learn to format cells based on a condition. Post that, we will talk about multi-level sorting, and we will talk about advanced filtering in case of an external condition or criteria. So this is the content that we intend to cover today. Again, the session is going to be an interactive session. So I do hope to get complete participation from all of the team members. And let us get started with the session. I'm going to go to the insurance data, and I'm going to go here and I'm going to apply a table. Now, when you go within a data set, I repeat, when I go within a data set and I do a control A, if I go within a data set and I do a control A, the entire data gets selected till where it extends. The entire data gets selected till where it extends. Then I can do the keyboard shortcut Control T, or I can go inside Insert and Table and insert a table. When I go under Insert and Table, if I hover over it, you will see the pop-up Control T. This shows that whether you click on Control T or you go and do an insert table, the same pop-up will open in front of me. Now it is asking you the question, where is the data for your table? The answer is, this is the data for my table, and I will check this. My table has headers. I will check this box which says my table has headers. Click on OK, and here I have my table, and along with table I also get this formatting on my cells. From table styles, I can change the formatting to suit my theme and overall look of my report. If I click on the table name, you can see table 2, and when I click over here on table 2, you will see that the data for table 2 gets highlighted. The advantage of table is, if I scroll down to the end and I add new rows, for example, I've added Sabiha, I'll write T40. I will add some number of units. I will add net asset value, and I will add online. You will see that now this is my new selection. So whenever you add items to the end of your table, they automatically get included as a part of your table. That is one of the primary advantages of using data in table or tabular format. Let us click on the table tool, and when we click on the table tool, you will see table design opens up in front of you. You will see table design opens up in front of you. What you can do over here is, you can add a slicer. You can add a slicer which will enable you to visually filter your data which is in table format. So what does the slicer do? The slicer will give you a button type arrangement. I repeat, the slicer will give you a button type arrangement where you will be able to interact or engage with your table. Click on Insert Slicer. When I click on Insert Slicer, I will get a list of column headers. I repeat, I will get a list of column headers which I can use in order to visually filter my table. Suppose I would like to visually filter based on city type. Suppose I would like to visually filter based on city type. Click on city type and click on OK. This is your city type filter. If you want to increase the size of this city type slicer, you can come to the corner like you resize objects in PowerPoint. You can resize your slicer. You can resize your slicer from the corners on either side or like this. However, if you wish to increase your button size, can you see these buttons? If you wish to increase these button size, you can come here under buttons. So when the slicer is selected, you will see the slicer tab active. That is the specialty of Excel. So whenever any option is selected, that related tab will be highlighted. So these are buttons, B30, old, T30, T40. All of these are buttons. You can go to button and increase the button height. And the button heights will increase. If you wish to increase button width, can you see button width is increasing? In this way, you can change the height and the width of the buttons. If you want to change size of the slicer, you will change like this. But button size you can do from the button section. Now, how will you be using this slicer? When you click on B30, it will run a filter and only B30 city type related data will be appearing in the list. Click on clear in order to clear the filter. Click on all and now you will only see the data for city type old. Clear the filter from here. Click on T30 and now you can see the data for city type T30. Click on clear and you can clear. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So every time I select an item from my slicer, only that related information will be shown in my table. Can you all try this much before I proceed, everyone, please? Can everyone select their table and insert a slicer? I'm deleting this so that we can do it together. My table is selected. Table design is active. Where will we go? We will go to insert slicer. We will go to insert slicer. Click on insert slicer. You will get the different column headers which you can use in order to visually filter your data. You will get the column headers which you can use to visually filter your data. I'm clicking on city type again. Click on OK. And this is your visual filter for city type. If you want to increase your slicer, you increase it like this. If you want to reduce your slicer, you reduce it like this. If you want to change the height of your buttons in your slicer or your width, you change it from here. Please try this much and let me know in the chat. Okay, good job. Thank you for the update. Now, if I want to change the color of my slicer, I repeat, if I wish to change the color of my slicer, I can click on slicer style and I can change the color. The slicer has to be selected and I can change the slicer style. So basically my slicer style should match my table. Okay, so that it looks that it is a part of the same table. Now, let us go forward with the slicer. Suppose I would like to show my slicer in a single row. Suppose I would like to show my slicer in a single row. Increase the size of the slicer, and in the button section, you will see something called columns. In the button section, you will see something called columns. Click and increase the columns from here. Click and increase the columns from here. Now you will see that the whole slicer has come in a single row. Come to the bottom of the slicer, reduce the size, and this is your slicer. The slicer will still work the same way. Click on B30, you will see data for B30. Click on T30, you will see data for T30. What did I do? I only put the slicer in horizontal format. By increasing the number of columns from 1 to 4. Clear the slicer. Now suppose I want to select B30 and T40. I want to apply a slicer on two options, B30 and T40. Click on B30, hold down Control key and click on T40. So when you want to multi-select using a slicer, you will hold down Control key and select. When you want to multi-select using the slicer, you will hold down Control key and select. How do you clear the slicer? You clear the slicer from. Suppose I want to select B30 old and T30. I want to select B30 old and T30. I want to select all of these three. Click on B30, hold down the shift key, click on T30. So when you want to multi-select adjacent items, you will hold down shift key. I repeat, when you want to multi-select items which are adjacent, you will hold down the shift key. But if they are non-adjacent items, you will hold down the control key. So let me show you with another example. Click on table design, click on insert slicer and click on transaction type. Click on OK. Increase the size of your visual filter. Increase the number of columns. And I'm increasing button size. Now here, there are a lot of items to filter according to. If I want bonus, switch out and SIP, click on bonus. Hold control key down, click on switch out. Hold control key still down and SIP. So when you want to select multiple items which are non-adjacent, you will hold control. But I'm clearing this. If I want everything from bonus till reinvestment, hold bonus, hold shift key and select reinvestment. Everything between bonus to reinvestment will get selected. So shift key for adjacent. Is it clear, everyone? Can you all try a filter on transaction type before we proceed? Can everyone please try a filter on transaction type before we proceed? Any questions, you can let me know in chat or you can unmute and let me know as well. Okay, suppose I apply a filter on purchase and I apply on reinvestment and I apply on reinvestment and I apply on this. I have applied multiple filters. Then by mistake, or I feel I don't need the slicer, I delete the slicer. But if you see, I have not cleared the slicer. If you look carefully, I have not cleared the slicer. What will happen? My data will still show a filtered version of the data. What will happen? My data will still show a filtered version of my data. So what will I do? I will go to transaction type. And what did I say when I began the session? The filter, the slicer is a visual filter. What did I say? The slicer is a visual filter. So what will I do? I will go to transaction type. I will go to clear filter from transaction type. And I will see the whole data. And I will see the whole data. Is it clear, everyone? Any questions? Can you all try this, please? If you delete the filter, what will you have to do? You will have to go like you normally clear a filter. You will have to clear in the same manner. Does anyone want slicer to be repeated, or are we good with slicer?
Madam, is it possible to repeat it, please?
Okay, I'll sure.
Yeah, because your teaching style is very nice, but I joined class little late. That's the
No
reason.
problem, ma'am. Don't worry. No
Thank you.
problem. I'll repeat it. Okay, so basically a slicer is a visual filter which enables you to visually filter your data. I repeat, a slicer is a visual filter which enables you to visually filter your data. So what does your slicer do? A slicer gives you buttons externally which you can visually use to filter your data. So rather than telling your team members or stakeholders that, oh, you filter the data and see, you'd rather give them buttons and they can play around with the buttons and see different parts of the data or filter the data. Click on table design, and under table design, you have something which is called as insert slicer. Click on insert slicer and all the column headers will be given to you here, which you can apply a slicer to. So right now, I'm going to apply a slicer to transaction type. Click on OK. And here I have my slicer for transaction type. But there are many items in transaction type. There are many items in transaction type. So what I need to do is I need to scroll through them, right? Instead, let me increase the size and let me add more columns. When I add more columns, this data will now be arranged within visible limits. I don't need to scroll. When I say that I can see the data within visible limits, that means I don't need to scroll around it. Secondly, if I want to increase the slicer, I can increase like this. Like I would increase a shape in PowerPoint. I can increase the height of buttons from button section. I can increase width of buttons from the button section. Now, when I click on bonus, I will only see bonus related data. But if I want bonus and I want SIP, hold down Control key and click on SIP. Clear the filter from here. If I want everything from bonus till redemption, hold bonus down, hold the shift key and click on redemption. You will get all of the data from bonus till redemption. Clear the slicer from here. But suppose by mistake you don't clear the slicer. and you end up deleting the slicer from the keyboard. Deleting the slicer is done by using keyboard delete option. Here, if you look carefully, you are seeing a filtered version of the data. You are seeing a filtered version of the data. How will I clear this? As I said, a slicer is a visual filter. So if you forget to clear the slicer and you end up deleting it, all you have to do is click on the drop down here and say clear filter from transaction. Is it clear, everyone? Yes? Okay.
Yes, madam.
Okay. Manoj and Pranita, is it clear? Yes? Okay. Perfect. Great. Now let us go ahead and let us understand what is the difference between a table and a named range. For that, first, I will make a copy of this sheet. I will make a copy of this sheet. So I will scroll here and I will make a copy of this sheet. Right click on insurance and move and copy, and I'm making a copy. So now I have a copy of insurance sheet. Okay. Insurance sheet 2 is the name given to the copy. I will double click here and I will write named ranges. This is the name I'm giving the sheet. Now, on this copy sheet, okay, on this sheet which I've copied, I will go to table design and I will convert my table to a range of cells. What do I mean by convert to a range of cells? That means this is no longer going to be a table. It will be a simple range of cells. What is a range of cells? A collection of cells. When I click on convert to range, I will lose all functionality of table. I repeat, I will lose all functionality of table. And what will be retained? Only the formatting will be retained. Okay? Only the formatting will be retained. So what am I going to do? I am going to go to table design and I will click on convert to range and I will get a pop-up. Do you want to convert the table to a normal range? If I say yes, it will convert this table to a range of cells. It will convert this table to a range of cells. Now, let us talk about named range. What is a name range? A name range is a range of cells which is given a name. That means every time you want to refer to those cells, you only have to call them with that particular name. So for example, if I do a control A within this data. So firstly, I have taken a copy of the sheet, correct? Secondly, I have converted this sheet from table to a name range. Can you all complete that much? I will write in the chat box. Convert to range, everyone. First, make a copy of the sheet, okay? First step, copy. Okay? First step is copy. Make a copy of this sheet, everyone. Insurance data sheet, which has the table, make a copy of it. Okay, great. Once you all have made a copy, convert it from table into a range of cells. Please convert it from table into a range of cells. Okay, great. Now, I'm going to show you how to convert this into a named range. Select inside the data and do a Control A. Click anywhere within the data and do a Control A. Now what I'm going to do is, either I can right mouse click and say define name. Can you see this? Right mouse click, define name. This is one option. When I click on this new name range pop-up will open. When I click on new name range, this name range option will open up in front of me. This is one option that I can go ahead. The other option is I go to formulas and under formulate tab, I have name manager. And under this, I have defined a name. Same pop-up will open. Whether I right click and do define name or I go to formula and say define name, in either case, the same name manager option will open, which will enable me to give a new name to this particular name range. Can you see name T30? I will change this to insurance data. So what am I going to call this range? Insurance data. If you have multiple insurance data on your sheet, you can call it insurance data 1. The second part is scope. What does scope mean? Scope means that where can you use this name range? Scope means where can you use this name range? Can you use it on this particular workbook? Can you use it on a particular sheet? Can you use it in the whole work? If I say whole workbook, the scope is very wide. If I say whole workbook, the scope is very wide. That means this particular name range can be referred to anywhere. I repeat, this particular name range can be referred to anywhere. That means on any sheet, I can refer to this. But if I use a specific sheet name, that I use this sheet name, that name ranges, that means only on this sheet, I can use this name range. I repeat, if in scope, I only select a particular worksheet, the name range will only be available or it can be only used on that particular sheet. But workbook is a wide scope and it is a safe option to go ahead. Scope is very important because the scope is done at the beginning. Scope is very important because the scope is done at the beginning. After this, if you plan to edit your name range, you can edit the name, you can edit the comments, you can edit the area or the range of cells it refers to. But the scope cannot be edited at any given time. So when you are naming the range, you have to be very clear on the scope because later on, scope cannot be modified. Comments, if you are sharing your sheet with team members, you can have any possible comments here, which you can write as pointers for your name range. That means you want people to know what is the data or something about it. Then we have refers to. In refers to, you will see the sheet reference. The sheet reference with an exclamation mark in order to denote that it refers to this particular sheet. It refers to this particular sheet and the range of cells are given within. If you see the name range of cells a little clearly, you will realize that there is a $sign in the range of cells. You will realize that there is a $sign in the range of cells. What does $sign indicate? $sign indicates that this is a fixed range of cells. This is an absolute range of cells and the reference within this range of cells will not change. I repeat, the reference within the range of cells will not change. Click on OK. And here you have your range created. When I go to the name box and I click on the drop down and I click on insurance data 1, you will see that insurance data 1 gets highlighted. Now let me tell you a little bit more about name ranges, but before that, I want you to create a name range. Can anyone go ahead and create a name range, everyone, please? Yes, let me know, and in the chat box, let me know when you complete creating the name. Okay, great. Everyone has created a name range. Excellent. Now, let me tell you about the name range. Okay. The first thing, both are given a name, correct? Both are given a name. Name range is also given a name. Table is also given a name. Both can be selected from name box. Both can be selected from the name box. That is also correct. Both use $sign for selection. Correct? Both use $sign for selection. Now, the difference comes when new rows are added. When new rows are added, the table increases in size. But when new rows are added, in case of a name range, I repeat, when new rows are added, in case of a name range, you know what happens? You need to re-select the range and save the range from edit. So let me come to the name range here. This is a name range, right? I'm scrolling down to the data. And here, let me write over here, ESIP, WSIWP. Old, new. I'm just putting some random numbers here. Online bazaar. Funds. Now, click on the drop down and click on insurance data 1, which is your name range. Scroll till the end. Scroll right till the end. Can you see what has happened in the selection? It is only selecting the items that were in the name range when I made it. So a name range locks a range. It is very good option. But when it comes to adding new rows of data, it does not auto-update itself and increase in size and accommodate those new ranges of data. These new ranges of data are outside the data. Though they have got the formatting of the table, but they are not a part of the table. We will recheck. Scroll to the end. Can you see them? They are not a part of the name range. Now, if I want to add them in the name range, what do I do? Go to formulas and you will see name manager. Go to formulas and you will see something which is called as name manager. Now, what does name manager do? Name manager, as the name suggests, enables you to manage your named ranges. Name manager, as the name suggests, enables you to manage your named ranges. Click on name manager. Click on insurance data 1 from the list. See, you'll see the tables also here. You'll see name ranges. Click on edit. After you find your name range, click on edit. What does edit suggest? Edit in named manager suggests that I can now edit my named range. Edit suggests that now I can edit my named range. Click on it. Do you want to edit the name? No, I'm okay with the name. See, the scope is grayscale. Why? Because the scope in case of a named range can only be modified at the very beginning. The scope can only be modified at the very beginning. After that, what happens is the scope becomes fixed. The scope cannot be modified after that. Comments can be changed and refers to can also be changed. Right now, since I have added more number of rows, I'm going to increase the reference. Click on refers to, select, Control Shift and down, and now it has taken in the yellow rows also. The 2 yellow rows which are added later on have been accommodated. Click again over here. Click OK and click on close. Now click over here and say insurance data. Can you see the new selection? Can you see the change in selection? What happened now? The new items have been accommodated. Again, if I click here, insurance data, you will see that the yellow 2 rows have been added. So in a table, the advantage is when new rows are added, 5 rows, 10 rows, or even 500 rows, it auto updates itself and takes that into consideration. So it makes allowances for refreshed data. Whereas in case of a name range, every time the data expands, you will have to go and increase your area of reference. Okay, so this is the first difference between. Can you all try this much before I go to the next concept in name range? Please try this much before we go ahead. We'll wait for 1 more minute till everyone completes, and then let us go to the second part. Now, suppose you have a range of cells. Suppose you have a range of cells. Can you make a table out of a single column? No. You cannot use a single column, okay, and make a table. So here if you see, you can, it doesn't make sense, using a single column. But you can use a single column and make a table. But how will you make it? You will have to select the single column and you will have to create the table. So for example, I will have to select this column and I will have to do Control T, enter, and it will make a table out of this single column for me. But if I would like to make a named range from single columns, I repeat, if I would like to make a name range out of single columns, I can select the whole data. Okay. Go to formulas and can you see create from selection? Create from selection allows me to create name ranges from individual columns. Create from selection allows me to create named ranges from individual columns. Click on create from selection. Now for labels of my name range, I can either use my top row or my left column. Now where are my headings? My headings are in my top row. So if I say create names from values in top row, it will make individual columns for me from the data. It will make individual columns for me from the data. Click on OK. And now, if you click on the drop down, you will see city type will be one name range. Click here. Insurance is the whole thing. Net asset value is one column. Online is one column. Policy will be one column. So different items will be, transaction type will be one column. So basically, within the entire data, I repeat, basically, within the entire data, you will have individual columns which are made. Within the data, you will have individual columns which are made into name ranges. We also call this creating batch name ranges, where at one go, instead of creating individually, like select the column, create name range, select the column, define name range. At one go, you can make over 20 to 30 name ranges all at once. Let us go to sheet 1. Let us go here and let us say you can create from selection to make batch named ranges. And in table, what happens? You will have to individually select and create tables. Is it clear, everyone? Can you all try this? Select the whole data and create from selection. Select the whole data, click on create from selection. Since the labels are in the top row, you can use top row. Okay. Now let us go to deleting them. Now, when you want to delete a table, you don't have to delete. What do? You do convert to range. You will come out of the table. correct? But in case of a name range, what will you do? You will have to go under formulas to name manager. Name manager, as the name suggests, enables you to manage your name ranges. So hold down shift key, select the multiple items and hit delete. Say okay. So from name manager, you can edit and delete name ranges. Try and delete a name range before we proceed, and I'm writing down the notes here. This is the difference between a table and a name range. This is the difference between a
Madam,
table
I have
and a
question.
name range.
Madam, I have a question like, when we are deleting from the name range, so is there any changes is happening in this table? Sorry, in the range?
There'll be no change, but wherever you have referred to it, okay, in the formulae with the name, over there, the name will be removed and only the selected area will be appearing. So for example, if I took units, okay, and I made it into a name range. If I do this, if I go to formulas, define name, and I call this units, okay? I call this unit 1. Now, if I come here and I do is equal to sum, open bracket, and I take units as reference. This is why we use it, right? We don't need to select. We can only write the name. Okay? Close bracket and enter. Now, it is referring to the cells, but I am calling those range of cells with the name called units. Now, when I come to name manager and I select units and I delete it. Okay, and I will also delete unit 1 because both is referring to same range. When you close it here, okay, because it is referring to the name range, I repeat, because it is referring to the name range, you will get an error. Why? Because that range is no longer a range of cells. So as we go ahead, we will be using table, we will be using name ranges, and we will be working with formulas and functions. Does it give you a little clarity, ma'am?
Yes. Um,
Yeah.
I have
That
one more question. Like, this table, normally we all are working on the using the table only, like whatever the
yes.
calculations and all. So why the name range is like, what is the benefit? Means, of course, the name range is having the other like, specification, but what is the importance
So
to have the name
basically,
range?
the name range is used across a workbook. Okay, in a table, you can't say only use this table on this sheet only. But in name range, you can only say that this name range should be available on a particular sheet. So you can do restrictions in case of name range. And when you do image lookup, also we use name range. When you do a VLOOKUP, okay, for images, like in jewelry industry, etc., we use name ranges also there. If you're using table, it is good, but name range is similar to table, but different.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Welcome. If you're comfortable with table, you can go ahead with table, ma'am. No worries. Table is a very good option because you don't have to keep updating when new
Yeah,
entries
but
are.
table is known for us. So the name range is like,
Yeah, yeah.
the new
It's
function.
a
So I
new,
wanted
it's
to
a new
know. Yeah, of
function.
course.
Yes, yes. But table is superior to name range.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay, thank you.
welcome. Okay, let us go further over here. I have given you a glimpse of the difference between a table and a name range. Now let us go further over here and let us talk about the if condition. In order to use the if condition, I am going to take a copy of the lookup simples data. So either I take a new sheet and copy paste this data, or I simply right click, move or copy, say create copy, and I'll say near sheet 1. I will rename this to logical function. Okay, I'm renaming the sheet. Then I'm going to clear this table, which I don't need now because I'm not doing a VLOOKUP. Now, when I want to clear this table, which of these options will I use? Will I use clear all? Will I use clear formats? Or will I use clear contents? Which of these options will I go ahead with? Tell me, which of these options will I go ahead with? If I click on clear all, it will clear everything. It will clear everything. Clear all will clear everything. Absolutely everything. Yes, perfect. Now, let me talk to you about the if condition. If is a Boolean function which returns a value true or false. So if your condition is fulfilled, it will return you true value. If your condition is not fulfilled, it will return you false value. So there are only two possibilities. Either the condition is fulfilled or the condition is not fulfilled. If the condition is fulfilled, it will return a true value. But if your condition is not fulfilled, it will return you false value. Now, suppose I say over here, if the number of years worked is more than 20, then I want to give them bonus. So what is my question? What is my question over here? I will use this area for my question. What is my question? If the number of years worked is more than 20, then bonus. Else nil. Is it clear? So I will write the condition like this. Begin with an equal to sign. Always begin any function or any formula with an equal to sign. Then write the name of the function. Begin with an equal to sign. Write the name of the function and open the bracket. Then within your data, always refer to the first cell just below the label. Within your data, always refer to the first cell just below your label. Okay? Refer to the first cell below your label and say greater than 20. If this value is greater than 20, comma. Can you see value if true is highlighted? That means I've already given my condition. What is my condition? Number of years should be more than 20. Value if true stands for if my criteria or my condition is true, what will be displayed? So if my criteria or my condition is true, I would like to give them bonus. Now, since bonus is text, I will have to write it in double quotes. So write bonus like this, close inverted commas. So if it is greater than 20, I am giving bonus. Okay, I would like to display a bonus. And since bonus is text, we will always have to write in double inverted comma. Since bonus is text, I will have to write in double inverted comma. Comma. Now they will ask me value if false. Now they will ask me value if false. Now, if the condition is not fulfilled, okay, if the criteria or the condition is not fulfilled, and it is false, what should be displayed? If the criteria or the condition is not fulfilled and it is false, what should be displayed? Now I will say for false, I would like an empty cell to appear. For false, I would like an empty cell to appear. So what will I do? Open quotes, space bar, close quotes, close back. What do I mean by open quotes, space bar, close quotes? Open quotes, space bar, close quotes will give me a blank cell. What do I mean by blank cell? It will give me an empty cell. The cell will only appear empty. I repeat, the cell will only appear empty. But actually, there will be a function in it. There will be a formula in it which will tell the cell to appear blank. So whenever you would like a blank cell to appear, you will do open quotes, space bar, close quotes. Enter bonus. Come to the corner, double click because we are going to copy the formula. And in certain cases where the number of years is less than 20, you will see a blank cell. Now let me ask you a question. Do you think this cell is actually blank? No. The cell actually has a formula in it. If you look carefully at the formula bar, you will be able to see the formula in it. But for appearance purposes, for display purposes, the cell looks blank. Again, this cell is also looking blank. Can you see this? I'm going to copy this formula and I'm pasting it in chat box so that you all have a reference. So if everyone has taken a copy, can we try out this formula, everyone, please? If everyone is taken a copy, please try it out. We'll wait for one more moment for everyone else to finish. Good work, everyone. Let us do one more. My second question, I'm going to write the question down here on this sheet. And now I'm going to say, let's have a look at the data once. If I'm going to say now, if the status is half time, we will convert them to full time. Okay. So let's say if the status is half time, if the status is half time, I'm going to convert it to full time. Is equal to if, open bracket, select the cell which is just below the label. Okay, select the cell just below the label. Equal to sign. Now, when we are talking about text, we will have to write in double inverted commas because in Excel, text is always represented with the help of double quotes. So open inverted commas, write half time. See the way the spelling is written. It's half hyphen time. So you will also have to write it in that manner. Half hyphen time, comma, value if true. What does value if true stand for? If this is fulfilled, there are only two possibilities. Either your condition is fulfilled or your condition is not fulfilled. If your condition is fulfilled, then the true value will be displayed. But if your condition is not fulfilled, then what will be displayed? The false value. So open inverted commas, and for true value, I'll write full time. Okay. I have purposely written full time in capital letters because I want a difference between the earlier full time and the now converted full time. Comma. Now, what happens to those who are not full time? Okay, what happens to those who are not fulfilling my condition? What happens to those who are hourly or who are on contract basis or who are already full time? I will say their status should be the same. If I want their status to be the same, I will go back and give a cell reference, or I will go back and click on E5. Bracket closed, enter. And here you can see hour. Why did I see hourly here? Because it is hourly here. But when it is half time, I will see full time. Drag till the end. Can you see this? All these capital letter full time, they are the ones which are newly created. The rest will just be shown as it is. See, these full times, they are already full time. So in this manner, we can write conditions or criteria for text. Sure, ma'am. I'll send you the file again. Actually, this is the same file which I sent on the first day, which I resent you after the session.
Okay, ma'am.
I'll send you the, I'll send you. It's the same file, ma'am. I have added a new sheet. I have taken a copy of the VLOOKUP simple sheet. See, this is VLOOKUP simple. You will have it.
Yeah.
Take a copy
And
of
the
this, which
logical
is this.
function.
I renamed
Okay,
it.
understood. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
Okay, you
Ma'am,
have
can
the
you
data.
please click on the bonus? Can you click on the bonus?
Yes, ma'am.
That the colon, then semi. How like? Can you please define how it work?
Okay, so basically, bonus is text. So I have put it in double inverted commas. Okay, bonus is text. I have put it in double inverted commas. Okay, that is the true value. Okay, the true value or the value if true here is bonus. It is in double inverted commas. Comma, value if false is for the false value. So what will I use for false value? I want to show a blank cell. How will I show a blank cell? Open quote, space bar, close quotes. Close bracket, enter. Is it better now?
So that So the between the two colon there is actually space bar also.
Yes, there is space bar.
Yeah.
So whenever you want to give one character space, even in concatenate or any other function, we always use this open quotes, space bar, close quotes, either for one character space or for blank cell. I will copy paste this formula for half time in chat box so that you all can try it out, everyone. We will wait for 2 more minutes for everyone to finish. In the meanwhile, I'll write the next question. Okay, great. Everyone has completed. Let us go to question 3. In question 3, we are referring to the salary column. Now, if you go and scroll over the salary column, you will see that there are salaries ranging from 8,000 to almost 80,000. Okay, so now in question 3, we are going to target the salary column. And what will be my condition or criteria? I'm going to say if the salary is less than 20,000. I repeat my query. If the salary is less than 20,000, I will add a 5,000 as miscellaneous. Okay. If the salary is less than 20. So even if it is 19,999, they will still get 5,000 added as a miscellaneous bonus. Okay. So let me come here and start writing. This one will be a little different. Let me zoom my sheet. Yes. I think for formulas, a little zoomed sheet looks better. Okay. Begin with an equal to sign. If condition, open the bracket. Always begin any function or formula with equal to sign. Open the bracket. Select the first cell just below the label of the salary. And here you will say less than 20,000. So if it is less than 20,000, comma, what should I do? I should take the salary and add 5,000. So I will manually do it. I will take the salary. So refer to the salary cell plus 5,000. Comma. And what will be the value if false? For value if false, I would like to display a hyphen. For value if false, I would like to display a hyphen. Now, what is a hyphen? A hyphen is a cell in which you will only show a dash. So rather than an empty cell, rather than a value, I want to show a dash. So open inverted commas, hyphen, close inverted commas, close. Open quotes, hyphen, close quotes. Enter. Can you see over here what has happened? This is 8,882. It has become 13,892. Come to the corner, double click and drag it. Now, if you see, the initial column has all low values. So you will see the addition happening of 5,000. But as we scroll lower, you have all salaries which are more than 20,000. And that is why you'll see the hyphen. Now, since the hyphen is text, I repeat, since the hyphen is text, text is always shown in double inverted comma. And that is why the hyphen is also shown in double inverted comma. I repeat, the text matter over here. I repeat, the text matter over here is always shown in double inverted comma, and that is why the hyphen is also shown in double inverted commas. Please try this, everyone. Can you all please try it, everyone? Do you all want me to copy paste this in the chat box?
Yes, madam.
Yes, I'll copy paste. For those who've completed, I'm giving you all one more question. Okay. I'm writing down the question over here. If salary more than 50,000, then tax applicable. Else, hyphen. Please try this. This question I've given you all over here. Please try. It's in red color, bold and italicized. This question is for you all. Let me know when you'll complete it. Okay. For those who need help in solving, I'm solving the fourth question now. If salary more than 50,000, tax applicable is equal to if, open bracket, select the first cell just below the label. Now, can anyone explain to me why do we always select the first cell just below the label? Can anyone tell me why do we select the first cell below the label? We select the first cell below the label because most of the time we don't rewrite formulas. We always click at the corner and drag. So the advantage of selecting cells like this just below the label, when we drag it down, it completes it in a line, one after the other. I repeat, it completes it in a line. And the advantage of it completing in a line is you don't need to retype the formula. You just type the formula once and it gets applied to the entire range of cells. So select the cell H5 and what will I do over here? I will say greater than 50,000. If it is greater than 50,000, comma, tax applicable. Now, have they told you how much tax? Have they told you how much tax? No. So that means tax is a text. If it is a text, you will open inverted commas, write tax, close inverted commas, comma, and hyphen, open quotes, hyphen, close quotes, close, enter. Come to the corner and W. Now, suppose they tell you the tax applicable is 7.8%. So 7.8% is removed from the salary. So here, with tax, this is the way we will do. Look at this one little carefully because this is with a calculation. Begin with an equal to sign. If, open bracket. Select the first cell just below the label of the salary and say greater than 50,000. Greater than 50,000. Comma, salary minus 7.8% multiplied by salary. So what am I doing? From the whole salary amount, I am deducting 7.8%. From the whole salary amount, I am deducting or I am taking away 7.8%. Comma. Otherwise, the hyphen stands as it is. So open quotes, hyphen, close bracket, enter. Here there's a hyphen because it's not more than 50,000. Scroll to the end and see the calculation. So what will happen? From the salary, 7.8% will be deducted as a tax. I will copy this formula down in the chat box so that you all can try it. Try this out, everyone, please. Okay, good work. Everyone has completed. Now let us go and try out the last example in this category where we can add a bonus of 5.4%. So we are adding a bonus of 5.4% when the salary is less than 30,000. So if the salary is less than 30,000, then I am adding a bonus of 5.4%. So is equal to if condition open bracket. Select the first cell just below the label of the salary and say less than 30,000. So only those salaries which are less than 30,000, we are going to give them a bonus, comma, value if true. So value if true means what will I get as the true value? So what will I get if my criteria or my condition is fulfilled? What will I get if my criteria or my condition is fulfilled? So what do I need? I need bonus. So I will take salary plus 5.4% multiplied by salary. So what am I doing? I am taking the salary and I'm adding a 5.4% bonus to my salary. So I'm taking my salary and I'm adding a 5.4% to my salary as a bonus, comma, value if false. So if the value is false, I'm going to give a blank cell or I'm going to write nil. Nil means no change. So here I'm allowing the text called nil or none to be displayed. And since it is text, I'm going to write it in double inverted comma. Hit enter. At the end, you will see the formula here. Double click and scroll through the range and you will see at the end where the values exceed 30,000, there will be nil, that is the false value will be displayed. But in cases where the criteria or the condition is fulfilled, you will see the true value being displayed. Please try it out. I have written the criteria or the condition for your reference. Good work. We'll wait for 1 more minute for everyone to complete. And then we will go ahead with the next topic for today, which is called as conditional formatting. Okay, good job. Let us go ahead with conditional formatting. And for conditional formatting, we will still be referring to this sheet only. For conditional formatting, we will be referring to this sheet only. Now, what is conditional formatting? Conditional formatting is formatting of cells based on a criteria or a condition. Conditional formatting is formatting of cells based on a criteria or a condition. Is it clear, everyone? So we can format cells based on a criteria or a condition using conditional format. Now, what does conditional formatting do? It will apply formatting only if the condition is fulfilled. If the condition is not fulfilled, conditional formatting will not apply anything. Also, the rules of conditional formatting are running on your cells all the time. I repeat, the rules of conditional formatting are running on your cells all the time. And if we make any changes to the data, the rules will automatically be applied to those changed values or to those refreshed values. Let us go now and let us highlight all of the employees who have worked for 22 years. The first example which we are going to consider is highlight all the employees which have worked for 22 years. So select the years column, go to conditional formatting. In the home tab, you have conditional formatting. Go to conditional formatting. And the first option here is highlight cell rules. The first option here is called highlight cells rules. Here I will say equal to. Why? Because I'm only looking for number of years 22. I'm only looking for number of years equal to 22. So click on equal to, write 22 here, and the default coloring of light red fill and dark red text is applied. Click on the drop down and these are all the other color options that you can explore. However, over here, it is showing you a live preview. So wherever there is 22, that cell will be colored for you. And you can click on OK to execute the changes. You can click on OK to execute the changes. Any questions here? Let me show you one more example before you can try it. Now I showed you one for numbers. Let me show you one for contract. So wherever there is contract, I would like to highlight it in yellow color. So select the column which has the status. Click on conditional formatting and in highlight cell rules, click on equal to. Why? Because I'm exactly looking for text which is contract. If I was looking for a string within a text, like a particular code or a particular letter or a particular combination of letters, I will do contains. We will do examples of contains as well. But right now, I'm looking for equal to only contract. So click on equal to, write contract. And as soon as you write contract, it gets the same red fill. But it will clash with the other color. So I will click on the drop down and choose a yellow fill and click on OK. Scroll to the top and here you can see that wherever it is contract, only there the yellow fill has come. Everywhere else, it is not color. Suppose I come here and change this hourly to contract. See what happens. It automatically gets filled with the same combination. This shows that the rules of conditional formatting are running over your cells all the time. And when you make a change in the data, the rules auto update themselves to accommodate the change. Can you try this, everyone, please? Two examples of conditional formatting before we explore more options. Good work, everyone. Okay, let us now go and consider under conditional formatting, okay, salary values which are less than 20,000. Now, if I want salary values which are less than 20,000 to be highlighted, I'm going to select the salary column. I repeat, I'm going to select the salary column. I will go to conditional formatting and under highlight cell rules, I have less than. Click on less than and here you can write 20,000. Choose the fill color as green fill. Click on OK and all the cells which have salary less than 20,000 will be highlighted. Similarly, like you have less than, you will also have greater than. So first, I want you to try less than, then I want you to try greater than 75,000. Please try these two, everyone. Okay, everyone has completed. Good work. Now, I will show you how to clear conditional format. Now, when you want to clear conditional formatting, there are two ways of doing it. One, if a range is selected and you only want to remove conditional formatting from this range. I repeat, a range of cells is selected and you wish to remove conditional formatting only from that range. Click on conditional formatting, go to clear rules and say clear rules from selected cells. Now, what will clear rules from selected cells do? It will enable you to remove the rules of conditional formatting from the cells. Click on. You will see that the rules get removed. Alternatively, if you have not selected anything on your sheet, but you would like to remove all rules of conditional formatting from your sheet. I repeat, you have not selected anything on your sheet, but you want to remove all rules of conditional formatting from your sheet. Click on conditional formatting, go to clear rules and say clear rules from entire sheet. Clear rules from entire sheet will remove all the rules from the whole sheet. It will remove all the rules from the entire sheet. Is it clear, everyone? Please try it. Clearing the rules. Okay, good work. Everyone has completed. Does anyone have any queries as of now? Okay. So if we are looking at people who have worked between 10 to 20 years, so we want to highlight only those who worked between 10 years to 20 years. Select the range, go to conditional formatting, and under highlight cell rules, select between. What will between do? Between will only select between that particular range. So between 10 years to 20 years, we are highlighting and this is the result. Any questions? Go to conditional formatting. Since the column is selected, I will say clear rules from selected. I will just navigate to the sample superstore sheet because I want to show you this option called text that contains. Okay. Only to show you text that contains, I'm going to the sample superstore sheet. In the order ID column, you will see that the order ID has got text as well as numeric values and a date. So if I want to highlight all of them which have US as a part of the order ID, I would like to highlight all the order IDs which have US as a part of the order ID. I will select the column, go to conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, and I will choose text that contains. I will choose text that contains. Now in contains, I can look for one particular text combination or one particular combination within the data. So let me look for US. So wherever there is US, only those instances will get highlighted. Click on OK, and this is how you will use the contains function. Let us go back and navigate to the same logical function sheet. And here, if I would like to highlight the top 10 salaries, I have top bottom rules over here. I can highlight top 10 or I can also highlight bottom 10. Excuse me. I can also highlight bottom 10. So top bottom rules can also be highlighted in conditional format. Select the column, go back to conditional format. Click on highlight cell rules, and below that you have top bottom rules. If I click on bottom 10 items and I say OK, you will see that the first 10 salaries, which are the lowest salaries, will be highlighted. Similarly, if I go to the years column and I highlight the top 10 years, which are the highest years worked, I'll go to conditional formatting, click on top bottom rules, and now I will say top 10. So the top 10 years worked maximum will get highlighted. In this manner, I can use top bottom rules in conditional format. Can you try out top bottom rules, please? Everyone? Okay, good work, everyone. Let us clear these rules of conditional formatting before I go ahead. So I'll click on clear rules and I will say entire sheet. Now, the next one in conditional formatting is data bars. Data bars is a very interesting option which enables you to do a gradient color fill or a solid color fill based on the number in the cell. So basically, when Excel studies your data, it knows the topmost value, it knows the least value. So it fills the color based on the number values between the top and the bottom values. So if the number is higher, Excel will color the cell more in quantity. If the number is a smaller number or a lower number, Excel will color it less. I repeat, if the number is a higher number, Excel will fill more color in it. If the number is a lower number, Excel will fill less color. Let me come to data bars. So I'm going to select the column, conditional formatting, data bars, and select solid fill. Solid fill will give you a single color fill based on your choice of color. Gradient fill will give you a combination along with white. If the number is higher, it will fill more color. If the number is lower, it will fill less color. So for example, if I change this to 1500, see what happens. 15,000, see what happens. 45,000, see what happens. So as the number increases, 1800, see what happens. As the number increases, data bars will fill more color in the cell. As the number reduces, data bar will fill less color in the cell. Is it clear, everyone? Can you all try data bars, please? Good work, everyone. We can also try data bars on the number of years column, as well as for more practice, you can navigate to Sample Superstore. And here we have sales values. You can try it here as well, data bars. Please try, everyone. Okay, let us proceed. Suppose you want to apply conditional formatting. I repeat, suppose you wish to apply conditional formatting, but you want your entire row to get highlighted. I repeat, you want to apply conditional formatting, but you would like your entire row of data to get highlighted. In that case, I can select the data like this. Okay. And I can use a formula to determine the cells which I want to format. So click on conditional formatting and under new rule. So under conditional formatting, go to new rule and choose this option. Use formula to determine which cells to format. When I use formula to determine which cells to format, it will format and it will highlight the whole row if the condition is fulfilled. So let us try with the example of contract. So let me begin with equal to sign. Select the first cell of status. Now, if you see my selection, it says $E $5. I repeat, the selection says $E $5. See, I would like to consider column E, but my rows should change. So it should be $E5, $E6, $E7, $E8. I would like my row entries to change. So that is why I will say $E5 is equal to, I repeat, $E5 is equal to, and since contract is text, open inverted commas and write contract. It is a little similar to your if condition. If you look carefully, it is a little similar to your if condition. This is the first part where you will write the formulae to determine which cells to format. Then, the most important step is to apply the formatting or the coloring, because we write the formula, but we forget to format. Right now, if you see the preview, there is no format which is set. Right now, if you see the preview, there is no formatting which is given to the cells. Click on format, click on fill, choose a light purple fill, click on OK. Can you see the preview now? Now click on OK. Click outside. Wherever there is contract, you will see the whole row of data is highlighted. So when you write a formulae in conditional formatting, you can have the whole row of data that is highlighted. I am copy pasting what I wrote in the formulae area. We have to lock the column, but we have to allow the row entries to change. Sure, I will repeat it. Let me go to conditional formatting and I'll go to clear rule and I will say from entire sheet. The first step that I need to do is I need to select the entire data. So just below the label, I will select the whole data. Control Shift and down to select till the end. Under Home tab, there is conditional formatting. And under formatting, conditional formatting, I will go to New Rule. Click on Use Formulae to determine which cells to format. Click on Use Formulae to determine which cells to format. Click again here and write is equal to, and let us refer to the first cell here just below the status. We are referring to the first cell below the status always. Now the reference comes as $E$5, but I would like my row entries to change. I repeat, I would like my row entries to change. So $E is fine and I will let it be 5. Equal to, and into inverted commas, I will write over here hourly. So I am looking for instances of hourly. Wherever there is hourly, I would like the whole row of data to get highlighted. So $E5, that means I'm referring to column E, but the row entries should keep changing. Click on Format, choose a color, click on OK. See, the formatting has been previewed here. Click again on OK, and here you will see. I will write the formulae for you all in chat box so that you'll have this formulae also. Is equal to $E5 is equal to hourly. Please try this, everyone. We will consider more examples like these, so we will practice. Don't worry. Okay, clear everyone? Any questions so far? So let me go into conditional formatting. Let me go to clear rules and I'll say entire sheet. Now let me apply one more example where let me consider salary. So I will say if the salary is less than 15,000, I will say if the salary is less than 15,000. So first step, select the whole data, Control Shift down, go to conditional formatting and new rule. Click on use formulae to determine which cells to format. Come here, write is equal to. Select the first cell. Let $H be because we would like to consider H column, but we would like the row entries to change. And now I will say less than 15,000. Now 15,000 is text. I repeat, 15,000 is text. I do not want to write it in inverted commas. Why? Because it is text. It is not text. It is not a string data type. It is a number. So numbers are written as it is. Now, once the formula is settled, I will copy it so I can paste it in chat for you all. And in formats, I will click on format and I will choose a color. You can preview the formatting here and click on OK. And now you will see wherever the salary is below 15,000, the whole row is getting selected. Since the data, I repeat, since the data is sorted in ascending order, all the salaries less than 15,000 come towards the top of the range. Go back to conditional formatting and I'm going to clear the rows. I'm copy pasting the formula. I'll do one more example after this. One example I will do and one I will give you all to do. Okay. Let us proceed. I'm going to select my data again. I will go to conditional formatting, new rule, use formulae to determine which cells to format. Now I'm going to look for all of the departments which are logistics. So I'll say is equal to, select the first cell of the department, remove the $sign from the row because we would like the row entries to change, is equal to, logistics is text, so open inverted commas, close inverted. Click on format and select a color. Click on OK. And now as I scroll, wherever there is logistics, you will see the whole row is highlighted. Try this out and I'm putting a question down for you. I put the question down for you all. So once you're finished, you all can send me your question. Good work. Okay. Now, as we come to the end of today's session, I would like to ask you all if you all have any questions or queries, or you all want anything to be repeated that was covered today, please let me know. Any questions, any queries, any feedback, or if you all want me to consider more examples, let me know about that.
And I will get notes for this.
Yes, notes will be provided.
Yeah, thank you.
And these sessions are also being recorded. So the links are also, after every session, the link is added to the playlist, which was emailed to you. So you can keep checking the playlist also to review. If you want to hear a particular part, like if you've joined in a little late, you could just hear the first 5-10 minutes, which you missed. Yeah.
And please add my email ID also.
I've added, ma'am. I'm sending you the mails. They're not coming. You're not receiving the mails.
Yeah.
Yeah, please check. I've sent 2 from morning. From morning, I've sent 2, one reminder and one with the meeting ID. Also, another thing, please note, the meeting ID for all the sessions will be the same. The meeting ID for all the sessions will be the same. Our next class will be on Monday, everyone. Please note, Monday, 23rd October at 3:30 will be the next class. Monday, 23rd October, 3:30 India time will be your next class. Please note, everyone. Okay, great. You all are getting the updates now. Okay. I will still drop a reminder email on Monday morning with the meeting ID so that you all are well in time for the class and we can begin. So I would like to thank everyone for the session. Thank you everyone for attending the session.